Hey everyone, how are you? This is your 5-point update for this week. So the 5 things I want to remind you of or get you to think about or ask me questions about when I see you in the car are test waiting times, use of an app called Learn to Drive Pro, use of an app called DriveJohnsons Learner Center, the schedule and how far it runs and what you can do to get in front of the needs you may have and the amount of sessions you may still need to book. And then the driving test changes that have occurred and what's gone on with that. So then, the test waiting times. Every week on a Monday, driving tests become available for a very short amount of time, hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, and they go very quickly. And so when I looked on Monday just gone, the waiting time was May. So in terms of your eventual test pass, it's super crucial that you get your theory test done. Really is, because if your driving gets really good and you get to practice and such like, then what's going to hold you back is that there'll be a period of time when you've passed your theory, your driving's in a good place, but we can't get you your driving test for 6 months or more. And this oh yeah, I'll just use a cancellation app, it doesn't work the way you think it will nearly all of the time now, because you have to have a date in the first place to swap with a date that comes up. So it's a sort of vicious cycle and we want to try and get in front of it. So in terms of I guess the action out of that is get your theory done as soon as possible and use all the apps and the stuff I give you that will help you get through that sooner. 2 then, Learn to Drive Pro. Learn to Drive Pro is a study app. It does a number of things. It does the highway code and the traffic signs. It does theory kind of practice. It has a record card in there that you can use to open up a little app-based record, I suppose, of the things that you need to master in terms of driving success. So left turns, right turns, roundabouts, fast road, cyclists, whatever. It's all in there, and you can create a record that then helps you chart your own progress. You can use it as a way to plan for your next sessions, and it's just, if it helps, I guess it's always a good idea, isn't it, maybe to use anything that gets you where you want to be, which is test passed as soon as is possible. So it is a app that I buy off someone and I pay them and they give me a number of licenses. And so if you want one of those, let me know. It does manual, it does auto, and you can for example study things like maneuvers. You can study CGI created videos of little cars driving around performing things like left turn, right turn, roundabouts, joining a fast road, whatever, turning at a box junction and similar. So you can see a visual representation of what good might look like from above, and that might be how you learn and it might help you visualize. The DriveJohnsons app, now that's definitely an app you should be using if you're not using already. So what I will do, I guess, this week is anyone that's got a session with me, I may send excuse me, an app invite so that you can get it onto your phone and play with it. It's in the App Store. It's Android and it's Apple. It's got quite a lot of helpful stuff, a little bit like Learn to Drive Pro actually, but it goes a bit further. So it's got a learner's page, it's got a learner's area where you can do things like watch videos on how to do a parallel park, or watch videos on how to do a turn in the road, or watch videos on how to do some sort of tricky sort of roundabout or something. So there's quite a lot of good stuff in there, and it could aid your learning, help you reflect. It could help you set practice when you want to go out in your own car, or mum and dad have take you out in their car and they go, "Now, how do you do this parking?" And you go, "Well, park up and I'll show you." My schedule, when I send it later, that will run till December of 2026. March till end of September. I do a few more evenings and my schedule opens up, so you could I guess benefit from getting in there. And as ever, always book more lessons than you could possibly need, way past any test you could possibly have. The upside of that is that if you don't need them, we won't do them, and you won't do any lesson that you don't need. But you've got dates you can swap, you've got dates you could trade, you've got dates you could use for, I don't know, you pass your test and you want to go and do motorways with me or something. That, you know, that could be a thing. You might get a car after your test and think, oh, could you just help me? I'm having trouble parking, or can you help me? I'm a bit nervous about motorways or similar. So I encourage you to use this week's schedule, book as far ahead as you can and get your stuff scheduled. Driving test changes came in on the 24th of November, so this week. So from Monday this week, they were supposed to do every single test in this new way. The feedback I got is roughly about half of the tests got done that way. So I'm pretty sure it will all revert to how it should be going forward. And the little changes are, and I did tell everyone last week, but here they are again, if you haven't caught up with last week's video. Your independent drive can be all of the test now, all of it. So it used to be half of it, but it could be, for example, sat nav for the whole 40 minutes. It could be follow the signs to a given place for all your 40 minutes. So that's a change. You'll stop on the left less. Pull up on the left in a safe place, I'll say. It will be 3 times maximum, not 4. So there's 1 less stop. You will be doing faster moving roads and more difficult stuff, I suppose you could say. Less slower areas for more of the time on more of the tests, because they really want to test you. And you get to have a slightly longer test. So people are telling me that a test is about, on average, about 6 or 7 minutes longer. And so we build an hour into your plan for test days, so that shouldn't matter. But it won't be, I guess you could say you've got to concentrate for about up to 10 minutes longer. I guess that's the way to say it. But we've been practicing for 2 hours, haven't we? So 10 more minutes on a 40 odd minute session should be within our skill. And I'm sure you'll do great if you've got a test coming up. If you've taken one before, you will know the difference on the day. Oh, hang on, this is different. If you haven't taken one before, it don't matter. You're just going to do what they ask you to. So, as I say, you might find that the amount of time you're driving at a higher speed is going to be so much greater than any driving test before. And so your 5 things this week then are test waiting times, currently May, so let's get the theory passed. Learn to Drive Pro, it's an app, it's really helpful. It's free for you to use. I buy it on your behalf, but it's free for you to use. Why not use it? Ask me if you want to log on. DriveJohnsons app, definitely use that. There's so much in that. And anyone that's used it tends to tell me afterwards, oh my God, that really helped me parallel park when I was by myself, or I read a page on roundabouts and it helped me understand. So if anything's helpful, definitely I encourage you to use it. My schedule runs to December of 26. So get as many sessions in as you can. Shoot for 50-60 hours minimum, and if you don't need them, we won't do them, but at least we can swap them around with someone else. And driving test changes have come in. You'll be driving in faster environments for longer, maybe doing sat nav, for example, for the whole thing. You'll be pulling up on the side of the road less, and you'll do less emergency stops from a statistical point of view. But of course you can only ever do 1 in a driving test, but what it means is you're less likely to be selected for an emergency stop, let's call it that. Yes, well, I remember it. So quite a lot of folk have been really kind, and they've filled out the Intelligent Instructor, Driving Instructor of the Year nomination, and thank you if you've done that. It's a massive sort of shot in the arm to know that people that you're working with really value what you're doing, and they want to tell someone else. So it all happened because somebody, or a few people actually, and they may have been people that have recently passed and I'm not working with them now, but a few people responded to a communication they saw, and that generated this whole scenario. So a few people have filled in a little sheet that says, my driving instructor is really helpful, they're really kind, they're clever, they're effective, they help me in a way that someone hasn't. They've got tips and techniques and things that I finally, can get it. And so that started off this process that they contacted me, the organisation, and said, listen, your people are saying really nice things about you, so you are now allowed to go out to them and say, if you'd like to vote for me too, here you are. So I will put that in for this week as well, and I will send your logons for your DriveJohnsons app just because you got a lesson this week. And if you want the Learn to Drive Pro, then ask me and I'll send it to you. As ever, thank you for letting me help you. It's great that you want to work with us, and that there's so many people you could choose, and we're working together. And so often it's because somebody's referred me already. They've had a great experience, they've passed, and or the mum or dad has been so pleased with how it's gone that they are kind enough to say, you want this person, not this person. So thank you for doing that for me. It means a great deal. It really does. And I will see you the next time you're in the car. All right? So have a good week, and I will catch up with you next week. Thanks. Bye.